East Coast Radio.
Alrighty, if you're just joining us, you're just in time for a spectacular conversation. Think 7 Shades of Purple. Now, 7 Shades of Purple is not a typical self-help book or self-help app. It's dynamic in many ways. Instead, it's a deeply personal reflection of Darin Samuels, shaped by lived experience, family dynamics, and of course, a 30-year marriage to his high school sweetheart. Now, rather than offering prescriptions, the book and the app invites you into a guided world, a guided journey of honest introspection and intentional love. It aims to spark a movement, one that encourages us to reflect more deeply, love more intentionally, and live more fully within our relationships. And that's just the beginning. He's in the building. Welcome, Darin. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Carol, for having me.
It's awesome to have you. 7 Shades of Purple. That's interesting, the title alone. Don't you want to unpack for us?
Yeah, Carol, the 7 Shades of Purple, the colors are purple because it's a combination of red and blue. Red being things that are of the heart, the passion,
Yes.
the love,
Yes.
and the blue being the mind, the logic of the mind.
Yes.
Put those two together and you get purple, and depending on how much blue and how much red you combine, you'll get a different shade of purple.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Now, over 90% of relationships fail. Why do you think this is?
Carol, 90% of romantic relationships fail, and 1 in every 2 marriages fail. And the reason for that, I think, is people just don't make informed decisions. You know, we end up in a relationship, we gamble with it actually. We are attracted by one thing or another, and we get into a relationship only to discover something is not right and missing.
And we're not compatible.
And we're not compatible, and then you bail.
Yeah, we're not compatible. Now, another important part, you know, of your 7 Shades of Purple is that it's a self-help book or self-help app. Unpack for us. Book, app. How do we access it? Where do we find it?
Yeah, Carol, so I've created, we're trying to do something a little different. You know,
Yeah.
we in a modern era, we're moving from what I describe as traditional love to modern connection.
Yes.
And in line with that modern era, we've created a self-help app. It's translated into 9 major languages. It's international.
Nice.
You can find it just by Googling 7 Shades of Purple.
Okay.
And on there, you will find an ebook,
Yes.
an audio book,
Yes.
and some really cool self-help tools that help you have conversations about some of the uncomfortable things in a relationship.
Oh, right. What are some of these uncomfortable things in a relationship? I believe there's a sexometer and ideal soulmate and many others.
Well, yeah, that's right, Carol. So communication is a big thing in a relationship. The next thing that causes relationships to fail is family, spirituality, interests, of course. A big one, money, and how compatible we are with regards to money. And of course, you can never leave intimacy out.
Right.
And then what I call domestic harmony. So what I've done is the 3 big things that I consider as relationship breakers
Yes.
is family, and that around values. So we've created what I call a scroll, and it identifies, it helps you introspect about what your family values are. It produces a nice a report that you can have a conversation with the partner about.
Right.
Then there's another piece, a tool that I call a bucksometer. And what that does is it measures your financial personality. So you go and fill in a little questionnaire and it'll give you a nice report again. And then, you know, rather than have that uncomfortable conversation or experience at a restaurant on your first or second date about who's paying the bill, how are we going to do this?
Yes.
If you say to a potential partner, you know, show me your bucksometer,
Yes.
and now we can have a conversation that's a lot more meaningful.
Yes.
And then lastly, the big one, of course, is what I've called a sexometer. And what this does, Carol, it actually measures your sexual appetite. Again, you know, a deal breaker in a relationship. And what it does is it'll give you an indication of who exactly you are.
Are you a freak or are you a nice, slow person, calm, collected?
100%. And the report comes out in the form of a chili.
Yeah.
And
It's either you're this hot or that hot.
that's right, exactly. So you range from mild to fire. And depending on where you are,
Yes.
you should have a conversation about these things rather than go into a relationship and then slowly go through all the uncomfortable stuff that relates to intimacy in a relationship.
I love it. So who's the right person for this app?
Carol, so there are two target markets that we're looking for. Firstly, it's the Generation Z. It's the people aged 18 to 30, first-time relationship, looking for a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
And you're not sure, the guy or the girl kind of ticks a few boxes, but you're not quite sure.
Yeah.
So what this does,
Yeah.
it helps you to introspect, to help you understand exactly what you want. And then there's a second part to that. People that have been in long-term relationships, perhaps even got divorced,
Right.
and are looking to take a second shot at it and saying, I'm going to do it better next time. And you often hear them saying, next time I do it, I'm doing it for money.
I'm doing it for money. Yes,
Yeah.
no, I'm doing it for money, man. If this don't work, it's all about the bag called money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I love this because you speak of Gen Z, and Gen Z's biggest problem is connection. They are a social media world. They live on their phones. They live on the internet, and they probably would struggle more than, for example, a baby boomer in having conversation, in getting connected. And I love how you incorporated them in finding their space in this by downloading this app. And then the baby boomers who've had the relationships that didn't quite work out, now being able to find exactly what they're looking for at this stage in their lives. You know what I mean? So I love that. The app is called 7 Shades of Purple. If you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Darin Samuels, who's come up with a new app and book, self-help book that is amazing. It's all got to do with relationships and actually more about understanding yourself and what your expectations are. It's called 7 Shades of Purple as an app as well as a self-help book, and it's different. It gives you all sorts of perspectives of what to think about when looking for the ideal partner. And in a world like ours, finding the right partner can be quite tricky. Now, Darin, we're talking off air about a few things. Firstly, where do we find the app? If someone wants to find the app because they want to figure out what their needs are and not their... Is it wants or needs? I'm confused. It's your wants, ne? I think it's wants. No, your needs, yes. They're trying to figure out in a relationship what their needs are, because this app helps you figure that out. Because sometimes we think our priorities are financial, but actually our priorities are religious or religion. Sometimes we think our priorities are the sexometer. But actually, it's healthy, a person with a healthy lifestyle or whatever the case may be, and so on and so forth. Where do we find this app to help us figure out what our needs are?
Okay, thank you, Carol. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. You just Google 7shadesofpurple.com. It'll give you access to our landing page, and on that landing page, you'll find a whole lot of information. And then there's links to the app. So whether you've got an Android device or an Apple device, you click the relevant link and you download the app, sign up, and you get access to all this important information.
And it's a step-by-step help book.
Very easy to use. I'm not that techno savvy, so in the design of it, we made it really easy to use, and you should be able to access everything guide by guide.
Okay, so when I open it, where do I start? Where's the first spectrum I start in?
All right,
with
so
the questions?
the first screen you'll get to is a little tutorial on what the app is about. It'll 4 little slides, and then it'll give you a sign-on page where you actually go and enter your details.
And it's all free, or you pay for
all
this?
free up to that point. Obviously, the book and the one app, which is the sexometer, you got to pay, and it's only $1. It's 18 Rand.
Right.
And the book is $10. And you get your $1 back that you paid for the sexometer if you buy it. So in all, $10, but you can buy the sexometer for $1. All the other tools are free. Okay. So you can go check them out. You sign up, you enter your details, you get your own profile, and then you have free access to the system. And the beauty of it, Carol, is you get an opportunity once you've downloaded all the stuff is to share it in a very safe environment. So you have a partner, you want to share your reports, you just click on it and none of your personal details appear. So nobody can hold anything to you.
Right.
So really, new modern era, modern approach to the way we're doing things, and it's all digital.
It's all digital. 7 Shades of Purple, where you get to understand a little bit more about yourself, your expectations, your needs over your wants with regards to relationships. So I think we live in a world now where I know a lot of single people who are just saying, the dating world, thanks, but no thanks. And so this will definitely help in navigating exactly what you're looking for and hopefully finding the right partner who's also gone through this process of 7 Shades of Purple. Anything else you want to leave us with that you're like, it's important y'all know this?
Yeah, Carol, I think the important thing, as you say, a lot of people that are single, and a lot of the times we argue that people are single because they don't have the courage to know themselves.
Ouch.
We don't
Yeah.
introspect enough. And so what this book will do, it'll take you on a journey. So it's a storybook, actually.
Yeah.
When you get into it, it's the kind of book I'm pretty sure you're not going to want to put down. And it'll take you on a journey of introspection. Sometimes it's going to be a bit uncomfortable,
Yep.
and we're going to be forced to face things about ourselves. And so in the book, I talk about things like forgiveness and forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Because you will battle in a relationship if you're the kind of person that can't even forgive yourself for something that might have happened previously.
Yeah.
And so that's the one piece. The other piece about it is to say, we should stop blaming our ex-partners when relationships fail. What we should be doing is saying, that other person is good for somebody else, just not good enough for me.
That's right.
And so if I know what I want, I'll find the right partner.
Yeah.
Because too easily what we do is we blame the other person and then we keep messing up
Yeah.
and forever and a day blaming somebody else. When actually, if we did some really good introspection, you get to know a little more.
You get to know
Yeah.
a little more. 7shadesofpurple.com is where we'll find it. And you write it out, 7.
Well, you can use the digit or you can write it out 7.
fancy.
Both of them will give you access to the webpage.
There we go. 7 Shades of Purple. It's a community to help you get to know yourself so that you can find the right partner. And if you are with the right partner and you just want to see whether you're still aligned, because I've been married for 11 years. Sometimes what happens is we think we're growing in the same direction, but actually you're going left, I'm going right. And we're going to figure that out later that we're actually going two separate paths. So I think anyone who's in a relationship should have a look at this and see where they are in life and see if it's aligned. Right?
Absolutely. It's about compatibility and it'll guide you on that as well.
7 Shades of Purple, the founder, the writer, the everything, Darin Samuels. Thank you so much for popping into studio. We appreciate it. And I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you for the time and your listeners.
Lots of date nights are going to be set next week, Friday. Not this week. If you are setting it this week, you are too fast. Take time to get to know yourself.
Absolutely.
Next week. Thank you so much, Darin Samuels. Remember, it's called 7shadesofpurple.com.